Okay, guys, I really need you to focus on this message. If you are doing something and you have this running in the background, you're probably not going to understand anything I'm saying. So stop whatever you're doing. Take the time to watch this message, go through it, the whole thing. It will be beneficial for you also to get these notes. I have a lot of information that a lot of times I like to draw for you on the board. And I'll show you the notes, and I'll do a summary at the end. But this is amazing information. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you, make it as clear and obvious. Guys, when it comes to the book of Revelation, probably the biggest problem that all you guys have are these beasts, right? And these heads and the horns and crowns and the right? That's it. You just kind of get overwhelmed and say, I don't understand it. So we're going to get into a little of that. But guys, it's a familiar story. You guys all know this story. It's Esther. And that tells us about those beasts. Okay? So you know the story. You got Haman. Now Haman is a type of the Antichrist and the beast, obviously, right? And what does he have? He has 10 sons. And the beast has 10 horns. But the key for us to understand, guys, the amazing piece of information in the book of Esther is we've clearly established that in chapters 1 and 2, it's the beginning time period of the king's reign. The king sits upon his throne. Then he reigns 3 years. And then after 3 years, he holds a feast of 180 days. That's 3.5 years. That's the king's timeline, guys. I've been telling you. I don't even know what part this is. This might be part 16, 17. I don't even know. But guys, this is the key one, because thus far we have only covered chapter 1 and 2, which is the first 7 years of the king, because Esther's brought before the king in the 7th year in the 10th month. Okay? Now, later on we find out in the 12th year, that's Esther chapter 3 verse 7, Haman casts lots and he tries to kill the Jews. That's the 12th year. Okay? So 5 years have lapsed. Now we come to the 12th year. That's what we're going to get into in this piece. I'm going to show you the precise day when the Antichrist begins his reign of 42 months, or a time times and dividing at a time, and the exact day he's going to be killed. Okay? We're going to go through all that in this piece. Okay? Now, we must look at these details of the book of Esther. Okay? Now, what happens is, I mentioned Haman, right? Haman is a type of Antichrist. Well, the book of Esther doesn't actually record the date that Haman is hung. He made gallows 50 cubits high to kill Mordecai. The tables turn, and then Haman himself is hung on the gallows, okay? But we are told very clearly the time, okay? And again, that's Esther 3, verse 7. Haman begins to cast lots in the 1st month up until the 12th month. Okay? Now, that is in the 12th year of the king's reign. Okay? So, we don't get a date for Haman, but we do for his sons. Alright? And his sons are hung on the same exact gallows that Haman is on. Thus, we believe that the Holy Spirit is drawing our attention to the fact that these sons being killed and hung gives us a crucial date. Okay, now that date is they are slain. The Jews went out and started killing all their enemies on the 13th day of the 12th month. Again, this is the 12th year of the king's reign. And the king goes to Esther and says, Esther, is there anything else that you require? And Esther says, yes. That you would hang the 10 sons of Haman on the gallows. And they do that. They do that on the 14th day. Okay? So they hang the 10 sons, guys, on this 14th. And this is the day that the attention is being drawn to. Now, it is the 10 sons, and we'll see clearly the 10 sons are 10 horns. And we're going to look into some of these further details, guys. But it's very unusual that on the 13th day, the king asked Esther, is there anything else that you request? And she said yes. So it's drawing our attention that Esther wanted them hung on the same gallows that Haman was hung on the 14th day. So we know this is the most critical day in this section of Esther. Chapters 3 through, what does Esther go to? 9, 10? I can't remember. So 3 to the end. It's all in the 12th year, and the critical date is the 12th month and 14th day. Okay? Now, guys, these 10 sons of Haman are 10 horns on these beasts, okay? Now, in the book of Esther, it gives their names, okay? And I believe they're all on the earth now, holding some kind of office, you know, somewhere, okay? So I can't really do it because I have no internet. I'm out in the wilderness, but if anyone is interested, I'd love if any of you could research the names of Haman's 10 sons to see if we can, you know, begin to determine who these 10 kings are. They're rulers, okay? And they're going to form 10 kingdoms, all right? So all that is going to happen soon, okay? So they're here. They're on the earth, all right? Now, the next thing, this is how we're going to go through the process, guys. There's a lot of information here. What I do encourage you to do is get these notes, okay? Get these notes, print them off, and go through these prophecies. I wish I had like 2 hours to cover this message. I don't. I have to cover it in a short period of time. But the reason the 12th year is important, and the reason I'm drawing your attention that the 12th year and 14th month is in fact the Antichrist, is Ezekiel chapter 32. Now in Ezekiel chapter 32, Ezekiel, earlier on in the book, the Lord instructs him to write the day, the exact day and month and year of the word of the Lord. So many of the other prophets just said, the word of the Lord came to me and I said that, you know. But Ezekiel records the exact date, month, and year. And it just so happens that in the 12th month, in the first day, in the 12th year, that the word of the Lord came unto Ezekiel, and he says, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh. Okay, now, here we consider Pharaoh as a type of Antichrist, just like Haman. Now, we have a date. We have the 12th month, just like we do in Esther. And we have the 12th year, just like we do in Esther. Okay? Now, there's a lot of things in this prophecy. That's why I encourage you to take the time to read the whole thing. I can't read the whole thing. But I want to draw your attention to some bullet points of this prophecy. Because it's a warning to the Antichrist that, look, man, in 2 weeks you're out. You're dead. And we'll go and see what happens to him. Okay? But in this prophecy it says that you are a young lion to the nations. All right? So that's what the Lord says to Pharaoh. And we know that the beast, one of the beasts that Daniel records, and in Revelation 13 verse 2, the beast had a mouth like a lion. So we know the lion is part of the beast. And then the next part talks about you are a whale, or it's better used as a dragon of the sea. Okay? And again, this is a prophecy unto Pharaoh. And we know that the beast rises out of the sea in Revelation 13. We also know the dragon. There's a red dragon. The old serpent, the red dragon in Revelation 12. Okay, so this is a prophecy to the beast and to the Antichrist. Okay, and Ezekiel 32:4 says, "And the fowls of the heaven," the Lord's going to gather fowls of heaven to eat the remains of this beast when he's destroyed. And the same thing you see in Revelation. He's going to gather the fowls in the heavens to eat the flesh. In Revelation 19:17, and he said he will water your blood onto the land where you swim. Now these are very unusual statements, but basically we have this beast or this creature that's swimming on land, and his blood is not only on the land but also in the rivers. And we know that the rivers and the seas are turned to blood, and these are 3 judgments. I have them right here. The second trumpet and the second and third bowls all have the sea or rivers turning to blood. So guys, this prophecy to Pharaoh is clearly not some Pharaoh in the old times. These are last days, okay? That's what I'm proving to you. And then he says, I will cover the heavens he will darken the stars. He will cover the sun, and the moon will not give her light. This, again, is the fourth trumpet. In the fourth trumpet, a third part of the sun, a third part of the moon, and a third part of the stars are smitten or darkened. Okay? So all these prophetic words within Pharaoh, guys, is clearly stating to us that this is the beast in not only in the end times, but these are all during the Great Tribulation. Okay? And then it goes on, and again, I encourage you to read it. It talks about the Lord taking his net and his sword and defeating him. Okay? Now, as we continue, again, we're in the 12th year, in the 12th month, and that was the first day. Now we have the 12th year, the 12th month, and the 15th day. So what just happened is this was a warning. In 2 weeks, we know it's the 12th month and 14th day that the 10 sons were hung. So we consider that they're hung on the same gallows that Haman was hung. So this is pointing all our attention to this specific date, guys. And now the 15th comes. Now the 15th, both the 14th and 15th are Purim. But guys, the 15th, the Antichrist is dead. Now his soul and his spirit and those that are part of him are taken to hell. It tells you all about it in Ezekiel 32. Fascinating. I encourage you to read it. I don't have the time. But on the 15th day, wail for the multitude of Egypt, okay, going to hell with Assyria. And then this whole prophecy goes into these other nations, Assyria, Elam, Meshech, Tubal, Edom, the Zidonians, and obviously Egypt. That's 7. That's 7 kingdoms. Now we also know, guys, the beast has 7 heads. You'll see that in the red dragon. You'll see that in the beast coming out of the sea in Revelation 13. And also the scarlet color beast. They all have 7 heads. So here you have 7 kingdoms, and those relate to those 7 heads, guys. And now we're going to look at those beasts. All right. Now, again, normally I would like to draw this for you guys and chart it out. I'm just going to grab that, and I'll show it to you over here in the light. All right. But again, let's talk about the 10 sons. Now, in Daniel, there's a 4th beast, and the 4th beast is a terrible beast, okay? And it had 10 horns. Now, Daniel is instructed that those 10 horns are 10 kings. And John also, and so that's in Daniel 7:24. And John also receives confirmation of this in Revelation, because he sees the 10 horns. And the angel tells him that those 10 horns are 10 kings, which receive no kingdom as of yet, but power is given to them as kings for 1 hour with the beast. These will have one mind, and they will go to war against the Lamb. All right, let's remember all that, because that's what they're going to do. And that is Revelation 17:13. So now we're talking about these 10 horns, okay? All right, and so then, when we look at the beast, guys, again, the beast is the same beast, but he's described in 3 different places. Really 4. But in Revelation, he's in 3 different places. He's in Revelation 12, the red dragon. And again, the red dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay? And he's also, number 2, he's the beast that comes out of the sea. All right? The beast comes out of the sea. And he has the components of the leopard, the bear, and the lion. Okay, he's a terrible beast. But he also has 10 horns and 7 heads. Okay? And then there is a scarlet colored beast that the harlot rides. Now, that beast as well has 7 heads and 10 horns. So you can see these 3 descriptions have these same thing. 7 heads and 10 horns. All right? Now, the beast that Daniel sees, he sees 4 beasts, and these also are broken down where one looks like a lion, one looks like a bear, one looks like a leopard, and the 4th one is a terrible beast, okay? And the terrible beast has 10 horns. So clearly, guys, all of these descriptions, the consistent thing is they all have 10 horns, all right? Now, we know those 10 horns are 10 kings. They're on the stage right now. Their kingdom isn't given to them, but they're here. So any number of things could happen to make this happen. You know, the way this appears is that this is the 10 kingdoms of the one world government, guys. So that the whole earth would be divided up into regions, continents into regions, okay? Now, you know, the Secret Society and Illuminati folks have already done this years ago, but, you know, things change and different things, so it could be different than what they said. But that's essentially what we're looking at, is that there would be leaders over these regional, you know, governments that, in the end, are all part of this system, okay? Now, this is the other kicker to this whole prophecy, guys, is that both in Daniel, and this is Daniel 7:25, it says, the saints are given into the hand of the beast for a time, times, and dividing of time. All right, now what does that mean? Well, a time is a year, times is 2 years, and that's a total of 3 years, and a dividing of time is a half a time, so 3.5 years, all right? Now, the same thing is spoken of in Revelation 13, and it says that the power will be given to the beast, or the Antichrist, 42 months. So 3.5 years and 42 months are one and the same. Now, we clearly know, guys, that we know the 12th year when the Antichrist is killed. We know the exact date. It's the 14th day of the 12th month. So what we do, now that we know that date, we just backtrack 3.5 years. Okay? So that would bring us to, in the Enoch calendar, that's Purim 2022. Now that date is February 18th, 2023. And the reason it's 2023 is, you know, January comes earlier. And the Enoch calendar, the year doesn't change until the spring, the next month. But that 12th month is where Purim is, okay? And that's year 2022. Now, if you take that and you backtrack, that would bring us to the 6th month and 14th day. And this is Esther's preparation in like a few weeks. But that would be the year 2020, that would be the year 2019, okay? 2019 would be August 24th, 2019. That's the date the Antichrist would begin his reign and his power, okay? And then it would go 42 months, all right? And then that lines up perfectly with the 2 witnesses. The 2 witnesses, the beast kills the 2 witnesses, all right? Now that would happen, and they would be taken to heaven in the middle of the tribulation, all right? But now we know it's 2019. That's when the Antichrist will begin his reign. And it's going to be the 6th month and 14th day. It's very easy to do this with the Enoch calendar because all the days, you're counting them as 30-day months, all right? So this is amazing. Now let me show it to you, these notes. So I think with all the information I'm telling you, sometimes it's better to have like a visual. So let's take a look, guys. Okay, so again, we have Haman as the Antichrist, or the beast, and he has 10 sons. We know those 10 sons are the 10 horns, all right? Now, they're listed here, and their listing is in Esther chapter 9, and here are their names. Now, interesting enough, I believe 4 of their names have the name Lion in them towards the end. So, again, this is definitely prophetic. So again, Haman cast lots from the 1st month to the 12th month in the 12th year. 12th year, Esther 3:7. So that gives us the year, and Haman is hung, but no date is given. However, the 10 sons are killed in the 12th month and 13th day and hung on the same gallows on the 14th day. So now we have the 12th month, 14th day of the 12th year. And then Esther requests that they be hung like Haman. Again, that's on the 14th day. All right. Ezekiel 32. In the 12th year, in the 12th month, in the first day of the month, the word of the Lord came, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh. Now, Pharaoh, we know, is Haman. So these are a prophecy one and the same. And then we have descriptions of the beast. A young lion of the nations has the mouth of a lion in Revelation 13:2. In Ezekiel 32:2, it's a dragon that comes out of the sea. We see the beast rise out of the sea in Revelation 13:1. Fowls of the heaven will come on you. And you see, gather the fowls of heaven in Revelation 19, verse 17. In Ezekiel 32:6, he will water you with the blood on the land and the mountains and the rivers. And these are the judgments. The second trumpet, a third of the sea is blood. And the second and third bowls, the rivers are turned, and rivers and sea are turned to blood. Revelation 16:3 and 4. And I will cover the heavens, and the stars shall be dark, and cover the sun and moon give no light. That's the fourth trumpet. Third part of the sun, moon, and stars are darkened. So clearly, within Ezekiel 32:1, this is Pharaoh, and it gives us the specific date, the year, 12th month, and first day. Okay? Then, now that's a warning. Then what happens is in verse 17 through 32, it gives us again the year. In the 12th year, in the 12th month, the 15th day. Again, the 15th day is the day after the Antichrist is killed, the 14th day. So what happens? Wail for the multitude of Egypt, and then it describes all these nations. Read it, guys. They all go to hell. And the Lord shows them taken in the pit, like the uncircumcised, all these nations. Egypt, Assyria, Elam, Meshech, Tubal, Edom, the Zidonians. And then it goes on to talk about Pharaoh. And this is the day after the 14th day of the 12th month right here. So you can see this is when their souls leave the earth and they are taken to the pits of hell. Glory to his name. Now, again, the fourth beast, which had 10 horns, are 10 kings. That's Daniel. So again, now we're going to talk about the 10 horns a little bit. Which received no kingdom as yet, but power was given as kings for 1 hour with the beast. And these will have one mind, and they will make war with the Lamb. That's Revelation 17:13. Okay, and here, this is the thing I wanted to show you here. So you have the great red dragon. He has 7 heads, 10 horns. Now he does have 7 crowns. Revelation 12:3. Now the beast comes out of the sea. He has 7 heads, 10 horns. He has 10 crowns. That's Revelation 13:1. There's a scarlet-colored beast that the harlot rides. It has 7 heads, 10 horns. It doesn't tell us about the crowns. Revelation 17:3. All right? So here, these beasts, guys, clearly, they have the characteristics of these 7 heads. Now, these 7 heads we do find, counting Egypt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Zidonians, in Ezekiel 32. So we know that this prophecy is also the components of this beast, which are the 7 heads. We went over that, guys, in the other video, in the part to where we looked at the 7 kings, which is Revelation 17 as well. These are very important prophecies, guys, that you understand, because there are 10 horns, and there are also 7 kings that it talks about. And so now we have covered both. So this one covers the 10 horns. Now the key here is that the saints are given into the hand of the Antichrist for a time, times, and dividing a time. That's Daniel 7:25. And power is given 42 months to the Antichrist to make war with the saints. Revelation 13:5-7. And again, this is the 12th year. The year would be 2022. The 12th month and 14th day, or in the Gregorian is February 18th, 2023. Then you go forward, because he's given power 42 months, 3.5 years, same as 42 months. That brings you to the 6th month, 14th day of 2019, or August 24th, 2019. So I know that's a lot of information, guys, but this is why you got to get these notes and go over this process. This is fascinating that we could know these things. These are mysteries that common folk like us could clearly understand, guys. So to God be the glory. In Yeshua's name, amen.